Codename Soundwall. Date 2045. Location: an abandoned military research complex near Haifa. The last 20 years of Israel resembled a laboratory of invisible wars. Not only were battles fought at borders, but also across screens, frequencies, and perceptions. One of the architects of this new frontier was Benjamin Netanyahu. Though his official duties had ended, the shadow programs he left behind proved more influential than his political legacy. The darkest of these? Soundwall. Soundwall was a covert project initiated by Israel's Ministry of Defense in 2033. The goal was to go beyond conventional methods of suppressing mass protests. The new target wasn't to drown out voices, it was to silence the mind. No physical intervention, only frequency-based acoustic technology. Waves that couldn't be heard, but could shake the human brain. Instead of dispersing crowds, it would render them mute. The mastermind behind the project was Dr. Ezra Feld, a physicist and acoustic engineer teaching at the Weizmann Institute. He simultaneously designed silent weapons for the state, but something inside Feld broke years later, perhaps in the summer of 2041, during a protest in Jerusalem. Thousands of youths gathered to protest the bombing of a refugee camp in Gaza, trying to make their voices heard. That day, for the first time, Soundwall was activated. Nothing appeared to happen, yet hundreds fainted. Some suffered epileptic seizures. Others lost their ability to speak for days. The media never mentioned the incident. Feld acknowledged that day that he was the creator of silent violence. His conscience began to betray him. That night, he made a decision. He would expose the Soundwall project. Feld backed up the data: test records, command chains, experimental results, even authorization documents bearing Netanyahu's signature. Everything. And he handed them to the only person he trusted, young journalist Lior Megan. Lior, known for his anti-government reports, worked for alternative media channels. A discreet meeting was arranged in an abandoned synagogue outside a small town. As Feld handed over the documents, he said, "I only created the frequency. But do you know who gave it a target? Netanyahu. I'll never forget the day I heard him say it himself. If you kill the sound, you kill the idea." Lior transformed the documents into a digital series, but trust in mainstream media was non-existent. Every major outlet was under government control. So he decided to leak the project to the deep web in an open-source format. Titled The Soundwall Leaks, the documents were downloaded over 2 million times on day one. They included more than technical data. One recording featured Netanyahu's own voice. "Protest is a virus. You must choke it before it spreads. Noise is their weapon. Silence will be our shield." The internet erupted. Files circulated across decentralized platforms like Reddit, Mastodon, and Blue Sky. Sound engineers analyzed the tapes. Neuroscientists proved the waveforms caused trauma in the human psyche. Amnesty International published a report. A new weapon against human rights. Israel's silent massacre. Despite the revelations, Feld's fate didn't change. After the second release, he vanished. Lior never found him again. When he returned to Feld's home, he found only an empty chair and a voice recorder left running. The final message was from Feld. "My voice is gone now, but its echo will live on, with or without me." The leaks caused tremors within Israel as well. A group of university students in Tel Aviv began organizing sound protests. Every night they marched through the city center, making only guttural humming noises. No chants, no signs. At first, police did not intervene. But as the protests grew, old methods returned. A new frequency weapon was used. The result? 38 people suffered ruptured eardrums. Lior lived on the run. He continued releasing documents. NATO scientific panels reviewed the data. The U.S. Senate opened investigations into military research conducted during Netanyahu's tenure. As always, Netanyahu denied everything. Conspiracy theories, he said. Enemy propaganda. But the documents bore his signature, and the signature was everything. Eventually, Lior also disappeared. The last message posted on the Echo platform was a sound file. Lior's voice sounded exhausted but resolute. The frequency of truth may change, but as long as someone listens, it will never be lost. Since then, no one has heard from Lior, but Echo kept growing. Volunteers, journalists, musicians, and scientists joined the platform. Echo began releasing files that exposed how sound-based manipulation was being deployed not only by governments, but by global media corporations. Each file opened a new door, told a new story. Echo's next major release involved Netanyahu's private meetings with international media conglomerates. In those meetings, every detail, from what news would air, when, how often, and in what narrative format, was predetermined. Some headlines were directly written by Netanyahu's advisors. The leak shook the media world. CNN, Fox News, Sky News, and even several European channels were accused of betraying journalistic neutrality. Some editors resigned. Netanyahu remained silent. Then, in 2050, he held a press conference to clear his name, powered by AI. It wasn't a real setting, but a holographic simulation. The avatar avoided eye contact and recited lines with machine-like precision. The result? Even more public outrage. When Echo released its final major dossier, it had amassed over 500 million users worldwide. Every day, another piece of truth emerged. Netanyahu's name became synonymous with censorship, but one file remained missing. The seventh recording Feld sent was never found. In the Echo archive, its placeholder read only, "Seventh recording, no sound, but everyone recognizes the silence." Today, Echo is still active. Every new user hears a single audio clip upon joining. The true Echo is born from silence, and once it's heard, it's never forgotten. That echo marks the collapse of the silent world Netanyahu tried to build. And that echo now lives inside you. Note, in newer versions of Echo, users can upload their own voices to contribute to the archive. Each sound replaces a lost one. Some are cries of grieving mothers. Others are whispers of vanished journalists. This digital sound wall is no longer just an archive. It is a monument of resistance. The seventh recording may never be recovered. But now, everyone knows. Some recordings aren't missing. They've been silenced. Some silences aren't empty. They're filled with fear. And some echoes are too deep to ever be silenced.